This is the solution for the sketch problem post and beam. First thing I'm going to do is to put my name in. Sorry I didn't give you more space there. And my section number. The building at hand, if you were in lecture you know this, is the Trinity Church by H.H. Richardson in Copley Square. If you went there or even went online, which is what I did, you would have found some really interesting things about the structural grid of this building. So here we go. We're just going to take a look at this and see what we find. The first thing is that this is a church in the style of a cruciform. It's actually, and we're going to just draw that grid right in right now. Goes from one end of the church to the other and from side to side. You can see where the cross is implied. Another thing you might want to be interested in, this is a side note, is that it's pointing east, which is the way most churches point, Christian churches, where the sun rises. The next thing that's really kind of important is the fact that if you looked, you would have found out that there was a double truss. One here, a set of trusses here, a set of trusses here. They're quite large, and they really do define the space of the place. The next thing is that there's a single large truss that mimics that one right here, and then there are a total of 6 arcing beams you can actually see where they come in that really define the space under there. The next thing that happens is, much like this large truss here, there is another large truss that comes across here, very large truss. And again, another one right here. There we go. There are smaller grids that I want to catch up with. First one is right here, that's collinear with that line. Another one over here. There's one that's collinear with this grid. Actually, we can draw that line all the way down. I'm just going to keep on going right through. Goes right through all the way. And there's another one on this side, very similar. There we go. And then there's another one that starts actually all the way up here. Comes down. Lands there. And another one over here, very similar, that starts here. Comes down there. I'm going to finish up this line, this line. Again, This line is going to continue right down through. This line is going to continue right down through. And again through there and through here. So now we've got quite a bit of information here. There is another grid line that comes across here. If you were to look at the photographs, you would have seen that. That's all I did. I just looked the thing up on Google Images and found all of these interesting grid lines. The next thing I want to delve into is the fact that these little small places in here all have radial grids. You would have found that out if you had gone looking. I was surprised. Here we go. Another radial grid there. Actually, this one actually does come down like that. And then what I want to do is to accomplish all of these grid lines. This one as well. And while we're in this direction, I guess we might as well do this one. Note how it comes all the way across and gets involved into that system. This one as well. Gets involved in that system. Just want to be sure that we've shown this one and this one. You can actually extend them across if they don't show terribly well. But this would show that we have thirds here, thirds here. There's an organization going on there. Another major grid that we want to incorporate is right here and also right in here. Next, if we get into a finer grid, we will see that we've got all of these pieces here. If you've ever been to Trinity, you would notice that there's a courtyard garden in here that's quite lovely. And the stonework, the masonry is really quite breathtaking. That's for another subject, another time. Notice where the openings show up. Again, that's not a surprise though. Now I think we're pretty much completed, and this will be the scoring for this. If you had the cruciform axis that we talked about before, you would be getting 2 points for that. If you have the double truss shown as opposed to a single line, you get 2 points for that. 1 point is a single line. If you have the radial framing here, this large radial framing, that's worth 1 point. The major grid lines are worth 1 point. The minor subdivisions are worth 1 point. These minor radial grids, actually there's another one over here too, which is a staircase. The minor radial grids are worth 1 point. If you actually used the proper line weight, which is a dash or a dotted line would be acceptable, you get 1 point. And finally, neatness counts for 1 point, so that gives you 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points.